Welcome to Tai Chi. Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at your waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Waist exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Touch toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight. Kick your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kick your butt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, opening up our span, parallel feet, choose one side, cross and sit on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift your weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, practicing our great posture for Tai Chi. Dropping those shoulders. Opening up our span, hollowing out our chest, tucking our butt, chin slightly down, glance way ahead, thinking about how we're going to be a golden cockerel, holding our head erect, okay? Remember to use your center of gravity, focus on that mentally, 2 inches below your navel. We're going to shift our weight, center, counterbalance, golden cockerel stands on its left. Stretch out that back hand. Last set. Kicking out, 50-50, shift your weight to the left, right hand outside, right foot coming up, kick out. Last set. Warming up, holding our ball on a T stance, L stance, bow stance. Good Tai Chi posture, sinking down on the right or back foot. Here we go. Out in an L, move that ball, part the wild horse's mane. Bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on a T for better balance. Out on an L, move that ball. Here it is, stretch. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, ball and T. Out and to the side, L stance, O stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down on a T, out on an L, bottom hand advances, O stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T, we're going to multitask. Out on an L, ear, hand, heel, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, twist step, parallel higher on a T, ear, heel, hand on an L stance, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T, all together, ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T, ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on a T stance. We're going to grasp the bird's tail, first warding off. Out on an L, push your opponent away. Turn your hips and waist, Grasp the bird's tail as you pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, contact, push at your middle of your body to separate both hands and roll back. Make yourself small as you then spiral forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on a T stance. You're going to come out on an L, push your opponent away by using your forearm. Turn your hips and waist, position your hands, sit down, sit back, look back. Turn, square, contact, push at the middle of your body to separate both hands, roll back, and spiral forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on a T stance, out on an L, push your opponent away, give me my space. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, sit down, sit back, look back as you grasp the bird's tail. Contact, push at the middle of your body, separate shoulder width, roll back, and spiral forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball in a T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Out on an L, part the wild horse's mane. Flip that hand and join it. Sit back, sit down. 12 o'clock, stem and cup. Pivot out to the 9 o'clock. Flip the hands, close the feet, cloud hands. Middle or cup, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Flip the hands, open the feet. Middle or cup, 11, 10, 9. Flip the hands only. 12 o'clock, stem and cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Flip the hands, close the feet. Middle or cup, 11, 10, 9. Flip the hands, open the feet. Middle or cup, only flip at 3 o'clock. Shift your weight up, golden cockerel. Down, shift weight up, golden cockerel. Down, cross hands, right hand, right foot coming up, kick out in line. Left hand, left foot up and out. We're going to grasp the bird's tail. Out on an L, push your opponent away. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, sit down, sit back, look back. Turn, square, contact, push in the middle of your body. Separate both hands and roll back. And spiral forward. Sit down, sit back, pivot, left hand on the bottom to hold your ball on a T. Out and to the side, ward off. Turn your hips and waist, reposition hands. Bring down the bird's tail. Turn, square, contact, push. Separate and roll back. And spiral forward. Sit down, sit back, pivot. Pivot open, pivot in. Tuck the right hand inside of your cross. As you embrace the tiger, rotate on your wrists. So now your both palms are facing you. Push out using the core muscles. Palms are facing down. Drop your shoulders. Make yourself small by flexing your knees. As you now close your form. Okay, so this is lesson number 6. We have 4 more to go. So let's get an idea of how Yang Ten form stacks up to be by doing all of it right now, okay? And then we'll work in detail on some troublesome spots, okay? Opening up our span, actually closing it a little bit, okay? Good Tai Chi posture and grow a little taller within the posture that you need to take. Whatever it takes to grow a little taller. Commencing form, 50-50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, off the ground, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Hands rotate to the middle of the thighs. Take a deep breath in as we elevate both hands at shoulder level. We make ourselves small by dropping our shoulders, wrists and elbows, flexing our knees. Left hand remains in the middle, right hand up higher, open both to the ceiling. Bring it to the area of your ear as you glance. Turn your neck, meet both hands in the center as you pull back and push forward, repulsing of the monkey. Center, higher, glance, open. Bring it to the area of your ear, turn your neck, meet both hands in the middle as you repulse the monkey. T-stance, parallel and higher. We're going to multitask. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on a T stance. Out on an L, we're going to part the wild horse's mane. Here it is. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on a T stance. Out on an L, move that ball in a bow stance. Flip the forward hand, join it with the back hand. Then sit back, sit down, pivot, 12 o'clock stem and cup. How do you get out to the 9 o'clock? You pivot on the left foot on your heel. 9 o'clock, close the hands, close your feet. Flip the hands, middle or cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, flip the hands, open the feet. Middle or cup at 12, 10, 9, only flip the hands. We need to go to the other side. 12 o'clock, stem and cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, flip the hands, close the feet. Stem and cup, 11, 10, 9, flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock, stem and cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, only flip the hands. Come to the middle, be a golden cockerel. And kicking out. Holding our ball on a T stance, we're going to the right. Out on an L, push your opponent away. Give me my space. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands. Grasp the bird's tail as you pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, then square, then contact. Push at the middle of your body. Separate both hands, roll back. Spiral forward. Sit down, sit back, pivot. Left hand on the bottom, holding your ball. Out on an L. Give me my space. Turn your hips and waist. Grasp the bird's tail as you pull back, look back. Turn, contact, push. Separate, roll back. Roll up and forward. Sit down, sit back. Pivot. Pivot. Pivot in, shift your weight to the left, tuck the right hand inside of your cross. As you unflex your knees, your hands rotate on the wrists so that now at chest level, both palms are facing you. Using your core, you push out with the power of the left wrist, separate at shoulder level. How do you close your form? Your hands go for the ride because you then drop your shoulders, drop your elbows, drop your wrists, flex your knees, lift off the ground, toe down, closing form. Okay, and right at this point, you're still in a semi Tai Chi posture. You don't straighten up as a shoulder. You just keep in a relaxed form to close nicely. Okay, so the 10 form was just done in 10 movements. And it would have taken us maybe without instructions about 4 minutes, and maybe with instructions a little bit more, less than a minute maybe, okay? So the slower we do it, the more difficult it is, but then that is true Tai Chi, okay? When you go slow, because as all of you know, when you go slowly, that means you have to hold your weight for a longer period of time. And that requires conditioning, strength of muscles, and endurance, right? So you're gonna have to take it little at a time, okay? All right, so I think right away I'm gonna teach you how to transition into cloud hands and then move into warding off, although warding off and grasping of the bird's tail is sorta like, warding off is when you push your opponent away. You turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, and you sit down, sit back. So you see that my hands just don't go back. My hands go back only because I'm powering it on putting that energy back on my back foot. It's sort of, warding off and grasping of the bird's tail is similar to parting of the wild horse's mane, except you're parting, you're giving a snack, warding off, you're pushing him away, and then adding a new component, okay? But I think we'll talk about that in a little while. Let's go over cloud hands. So we said that cloud hands comes after the second parting of the wild horse's mane. So we part the wild horse's mane this way, okay? Let's do it. On a T, holding the ball, left hand on the bottom, left foot ready to go, good Tai Chi posture. Out on an L, move that ball, part the wild horse's mane as if you were giving a snack to the person in front of you. Get a good stretch. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball, better balance on a T, right, right. Out on an L, move that ball, right hand extends. Here's your snack. Flip the forward hand, so now you don't see the palm. Join it with the back hand or left hand where you see the palm. You're in a bow stance. Sit back, sit down. We're looking at the clock now. We're gonna pivot on the right heel and we're gonna spin to what number? 12 o'clock, you have a stem and a cup. What's with our feet? We've got to do something. The left foot has to get us out to the 9 o'clock. So we're going to put the weight on the heel, spin out to 9 o'clock, something happens. Two things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. Back at 12 o'clock, stem and cup, using your hips and waist. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, two things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. Middle or cup, use your waist, your hands just go for the ride. 11, 10, 9 o'clock, we want to get out of cloud hands by going the other way. We only flip the hands. 12 o'clock, no problem. Stem and cup, using your hips and waist. 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Two things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. Middle or cup, 11, 10, 9, flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock, middle or cup, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. We want to transition out, therefore we only flip the hands. We shift our weight to the left foot and we come out as a golden cockerel, okay? Yeah? So it's easy to follow, but sometimes when no one's to follow, you can't follow anybody, then maybe you have to then kind of go back and try to memorize and use your brain power, okay? Use your power of your memory. So practicing helps you, watching helps you, listening helps you, and then maybe you internalize all of that. Let's just go over one more time the transition, okay? The transition, the feet part, okay? So we said to transition into cloud hands, we have to carry our ball, right foot ready to go, bearing down on the left, because that's where our energy is. We come out on an L, we move the ball, we part the wild horse's mane. Keep your bow stance. You are in a bow stance. You flip the forward hand so you can no longer see the palm. At the same time, you bring your back hand so that you can see the palm. They are not in the same line. The left hand is shorter and the right hand is further away. You're still in a bow stance. Once you have your hands positioned, you sit back, sit down. What's the next thing? You have to pivot to 12 o'clock. So your hands move because your body's moving. Firm down, you see a 12 and you see a cup, a stem and a cup. The left heel now has to pivot out to the 11, 10, 9. Something happens. Shift your weight, flip your hands, close your feet. Okay? And you know the rest, okay? You know the rest. We'll just do it a little faster. And we want to get out, so we're going to then turn it into a golden cockerel, okay? All the time we're shifting our weight. The better you're able to shift your weight, the smoother your transitions and your movements become. Any questions on cloud hands? Okay, so it does take practice, okay? It is a challenging movement, but once mastered, it becomes your favorite, okay? Going over now how to do warding off. So warding off and grasping of the bird's tail are two elements in one movement. The title of the movement is grasping of the bird's tail. But essentially, grasping of the bird's tail is this one, where you're actually pulling down the tail or pulling down your opponent, but in a nice way, grasp the bird's tail. But before you can grasp the bird's tail, you have to ward off to get into the right position. When you ward off, you're doing something similar like parting of the wild horse's mane, except you're not being as friendly. You're coming out on an L, you're pushing and making space for yourself by using your forearm. You kind of pause there or stop. You turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, and see my both feet are on the ground. I need to put all my energy to my back foot. So when I do this, the only way I can get it there is to lift up that back ball of my left foot or front foot. Now I want to get my energy back out to the middle of my body. Eye contact, I bring it closer to the middle of my body. I then push and my feet go down. I want to get out to shoulder width away. Then I want to shift my weight and make myself small. Why am I want to do this? I want to be able to get out my hands and my body out into a bow stance. But if done right, all my energy is hurting me right now in my back foot. But there is a reason, because then I can extend that energy and use the energy to make the power of my hands, my body come out forward. If I did not understand it, I would come down not coiled up and not making myself small. When I make myself small, I compact myself. If I don't understand that principle, I keep my hands here. If I keep my hands here, it'll be a total hand motion because I don't have enough energy stored. I will have to push my hands forward. Whereas if I come back and coil up and contract myself, I then have that much more power to extend and come forward. Okay? The power is not coming from your hands. The power is coming from your mind and your core, from behind you, in the back of you rather, in the back of you. That's why Tai Chi can develop muscles and strength and endurance and everything else that you want for yourself for better balance and knowing your body. Okay, so this is the journey that we take. First we say, hey, our hands come out like this. This is the perfect way to get it, perfect way to get it. And later we realize what we're doing is copying and looking at the hand motions. But in essence, the hands position themselves and they move along because the power is emanating from our core and our mind. So the hands definitely Go for the ride. Rather than coiling up, don't understand it, come up, and my energy then comes after the fact, okay? All right, so we're gonna try to do grasping of the bird's tail as a drill now, okay? So remember, it's unlike parting the wild horse's mane in that you're fighting your opponent or pushing him away. So we're gonna have to start this way, okay? This is the only movement that starts with the right, giving the right, that side first. Holding our ball on a T stance, right hand ready to go, right foot ready to go. Out on an L, move that ball, push your opponent away by using your forearm. Just pause, turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands. Now you're gonna sit down, sit back, look back, turn, contact. At the middle of your body, you're gonna push that energy out. Separate both hands, shoulder width. Coil in, coil up, then spiral forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot. Firm down on a T stance. We're gonna take an L, move that ball, forearm your opponent away. Turn your hips and waist, reposition, drag down the bird's tail by accumulating all your energy on your back foot. Contact, but only push at the center of your body. Separate, roll back, make yourself small, and disperse that energy. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, pivot, pivot. Shift your weight to the left foot. Tuck the right hand inside the cross. Come up by extending your knees. Rotate both hands on its wrist so now your palms are facing you. At chest level, use the core muscles to push out again. Palms are now facing downward at shoulder width away. You're going to make yourself small. How? Hands go for the ride. Drop your shoulders. Sink. Flex your knees. Gravity takes care of your hands. Shift your weight to the right to allow you can go off the ground and close your form. Okay, so now I'm going to do it this way for you so that you can see the cross hands, okay? So, all right. Am I going to do it this way? All right. I'm going to ward off. I'm going to hold my ball on a T. I'm going to move the ball on an L, push my opponent away. Turn my hips and waist, reposition my hands. Sit down, sit back, look back, turn, contact, push at the center of your body. Hands go for the ride because I'm accumulating that energy in the back foot. Then I'm going to disperse that stored energy. I'm not rushing. I'm in a bow stance. What I do on one side, I must take care of the other side. I'm going to step out on an L, move my ball, push my opponent away, turn my hips and waist, reposition my hands, sit down, sit back, look back, turn, square, middle of my body, push out, separate, roll back, roll up and forward. Closing form, apparently closing actually. Sit down, sit back, pivot, open pivot, in pivot, shift my weight to the left foot as I embrace the tiger, right hand on the inside of the cross, come up, rotate, both palms are now facing me at chest level, Core muscles push out the energy. Palms are facing downwards. How am I going to get home? Drop my shoulders, flex my knees, and then shift my weight and close my form. Okay? It's not that hard. I think you get the idea, and then I think the most complex thing or element to understand is how to store the energy and how to disperse it. So I'm telling you early that that's truly Tai Chi. If I didn't introduce you to that element, perhaps you would say, you know what, Tai Chi is really easy. All you have to do is push out, you have to bring it down, you have to blah, 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 blah. But it's not, okay? So telling you early puts a little burden, perhaps no pressure, but a better understanding of what Tai Chi is. So if you can imagine, if you watched a performance of Tai Chi on YouTube or at an event, and you say, hey, that person's really doing something powerful. I wonder how she's doing it. It's sort of magical. And then you picture someone else just going up there and just maybe a child or someone, you know, not knowing anything, and they are able to memorize and watch the hands, and they just do purely hands. You would surely see a differential, a big differential. So that's the point that we're getting at.
I'm going to go over grasping the bird's tail with a little different approach, the approach that a lot of times I take, the intention, the origin of why or what are you doing, if you were to use it as a martial art. And we're not trying to teach anybody to fight, obviously, but what we want to do is get us to move our bodies in a prescribed, coordinated way, and we're trying to build strength and coordination. And Lucille has alluded to the hands go for the ride. That's just our way of saying that the hands are not the end-all to end-all in doing a Tai Chi movement. It really is a concerted movement of the whole body, moving energy from the central parts of our body out and back again with balance and coordination. And what we're trying to do, hopefully, is on a practical basis, build up the sense of coordination, build up the sense of balance, build up strength in the right parts of our bodies for daily activity. Just doing a Tai Chi walk, you try not to shuffle along. You're pretty much determined 1 foot at a time. We're not in a rush, but we have to stay in balance. But let's go back to the grasping the bird's tail. So we're here, and all of our energy is centralized here and here, because I've brought my core muscles from the top here. I'm set with my thigh here, and my pelvis pretty much steady based on the center line, dantin, and this leg, and this leg is a little flexed to take in the tension of the leg, okay? And there's no weight on this side, there's no power on this side. Then we come out this way, and then we turn and we shift, and we do this. When you do this, this hand is meant to help you because it helps you with firming up the shoulder girdle, the upper back, as you're trying to use this side to do the same thing. You're using the power from here to go down the arm and forward to push this person away. And you could say, well, it's pushing the person away, or you could say, I'm pinning him. If he doesn't move away, and his arm is sticking out, I'm shove his arm against his chest, he's pinned. And then you come back, switch. You grab him. You have the moment. You've got him stuck, he's like this, and you pin him, come back and grab him while he's pinned. Then you come back. Okay? Then you're here, you stay here. Your power has come from all the way from forward as far extent as you can, and then you've come back. When you do the ward off, is when you first look at parting of the horses, grasping the bird's tail, the idea is somehow I get out here and I come back. So, but if you say ward off, you ever tried to ward off somebody doing this? Maybe you can get your grandchild, or you can signal somebody, just say, move away. But you say, get out of the way. That's what you're trying to do. Get out of the way. And you're sitting down, you're using the sitting down of your pelvis and your legs, but you're also using the upper part of your body. Get away. Now I got you. And then when you come back, you don't yank him. You say here, arms go for the ride, because all of your power, all of your weight, etc., is there. And with the power of the back here, just holding firm and sitting down. And then using, as this gets momentum, then this portion, the upper portion, is starting to pull down. Okay? Come back. Your power is still here. And I'm just gathering power here, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to shove him again. But this is a different maneuver. This is called a single press. The power comes from here and a little bit here, but you're, again, pushing him away. Open up, come back down, push him down, or pull him down, but you're bringing him down, and what's happening? These arms are coming back. They just don't push down here. They come back. And when you come back, what's tightening up here? The back, the upper part of the core. You're here, and when you come forward, the hands aren't going very far. They do this, and then they finish with this. Okay? Come back again. Turn, shift your weight back to here. And you've consolidated your upper power here, ready to go again. Pin him, grasp him, pull him down, stay here, turn, open, sit down, push down, pull back, shove him back out. Oh, one more thing, or two more things. And because I mentioned this, because we're drilling, a lot of times we don't go back through golden cockerel and kickouts, because we do that in our warm-ups. But again, if you're going to do your golden cockerel, if we're coming up to this side, on the right side, it's not just shove it down. Say we came from here. This hand is really high. It doesn't just drop down here and this decides to do that, okay? It's coming from here. You see how my hand came across? And it's helping me turn, helping me center. And then this hand is not up here yet. What's it helping? Watch my leg and my hands. They go together. They go together. Otherwise, what happens is it's a disconcerted movement. You're not coordinating your movement. So it's here, here, okay? Similarly with kicking, if you do this and then you do this, you've not moved coordinated. You've not used your hands in the wisest way. Come down. If you're going to do a kick out, what am I doing here? Come here. I'm centering. Remember? I want this power here. Center. Come down. And I should be bringing my leg in also. And then when I come up, my arms come up and my legs come up. And then I can go out. Okay. So practice those. You're going to practice that with warm-ups every time you come to see us, and have those things in mind.
Okay, so good ideas, good suggestions. So let's practice our, before we forget, how to ward off correctly, trying to use some of the elements and ideas that were passed on to you. And then We'll take it all the way through, practice our golden cockerel, and practice our new crossing of our hands for closing form. Okay, so we're going to the right. We're on a T stance. We're going to ward off. Good Tai Chi posture, good size of your ball, dropping your shoulders, weighting down on the left foot. Out on an L, move that ball, push your opponent away. Give me my space. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, sit down, sit back, look back, contact, turn, center of your body, push out. Shoulder width away, coil back, make yourself small, drop your shoulders, and then spiral forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, left hand on the bottom, left foot ready to go, out on an L, give me my space. Turn your hips and waist, use the power of your back, energy to store, turn, contact, center of your body to push out, separate, roll back, and spiral forward. Sit down, sit back, pivot, pivot, pivot in, tuck the right hand, shift your weight to the left, extend those knees so that you're unflexing, rotate on your wrists. Now both palms are facing you at chest level. The power is coming from your core to push out those hands, allowing your palms to now face down, shoulder width away. Drop your shoulders, only drop your shoulders, flex your knees. Let gravity take care of those hands to come down. Lift off the ground, close your form. Okay, this time we'll do all of 10 form, getting in the golden cockerel like how Ken explained it to you, okay? Good Tai Chi posture, dropping those shoulders, tucking your butt, hollowing out your chest, chin slightly down, glance way ahead, head erect, 50-50. Slowly drain the weight off of our left, heel comes up, on our sole, on our toe, 100% off the ground, toe, sole, arch, heel, 50-50, hands rotate. Take a deep breath in as we elevate both hands, shoulder level, drop your shoulders, wrists and elbows. Center, rise the back hand up higher, open, glance, bringing it in the area of your ear, turn, meet in the center as you repulse the monkey. Center, higher, glance, open, ear, turn, meet, slide. T stance, parallel and higher. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, T parallel. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, center with your ball, out on an L, part the wild horse's mane. Here's your snack. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, T and ball, L and ball, bow stance. Here's your snack. Flip the forward hand, join it with the back hand. Cloud hands. Sit down, sit back. Pivot at 12, show me your stem and cup. Pivot out to the 9 o'clock, show me 2 things happen. Middle or cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Middle or cup. 11, 10, 9 o'clock, only flip your hands. 12 o'clock, stem and cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Middle or cup, 11, 10, 9, flip the hands, open the feet. middle or cup. 1, 2, 3. Only flip the hands. Shift your weight. Don't just plop it down, but give yourself some stability. Down, in sync, down, lift together, and in line, down, left hand, left foot up, and out, and in, centering ourselves, thinking about how to ward off. Out on an L, push them away. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail, look back, sit back, contact, push in the middle, roll back, make yourself small and power forward. Sit down, sit back, pivot, hold your ball in a T stance, out on an L, push them away, give me my space, turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail, sit down, sit back, look back, contact, center of your body to push them out again, roll back, spiral forward, no rush to get home, sit back, sit down, pivot, pivot open, pivot close, shift your weight to the left, tuck the right hand inside the cross. As you elevate, you rotate your hands on the wrists so that now at chest level, both palms are facing you. Use your core muscles to push out that energy, so now both palms are facing the ground. What do? Drop your shoulders, flex your knees as you close your form. Okay, so wasn't that hard, right? It's kind of fun, huh? Yeah? Yeah, I see brand new people saying, yeah, it's kind of fun. So that's good. We are only on lesson 6, and we have accomplished 10 movements. That's really good. That's really, really a big accomplishment. Just think about the first day that you came in and how you said, oh, wow, I don't know if I've gotten to the right class, right? And you hung in there, and it's okay not to know everything 100% clean, but you're building towards a journey that you have never done before and teaching your body, and at the same time, learning more about your body. And at the same time, getting hopefully some mental release, less stressful, because you're concentrating and focusing on something that doesn't take you away from the outside activities or worries, and at the same time building strength for yourself, okay? And stimulating your mind to learn something new, to keep that mind always challenged and going for you, okay? All right, let's end with, we have 53, we're at 7 minutes, okay? I'm gonna put up the music. We're going to do Yang Ten form. I'm not going to talk, and you just think through the process, okay? Yang Ten form, begin. 1 minute to practice our ward off. Very good. Thank you.